our next speaker here is actually someone who's quite amazing. It's Kelly Burton from like sort of like Material Exchange. Kelly is sort of like Material Exchange is such an important company because they're at the forefront of scanning fabrics, but also presenting fabrics, not just in denim, but in like many even like just like outerwear, shoes, you name it. Actually, Kingpin Show did a massive like collaboration with like sort of like Material Exchange. So all of the companies that show at the Kingpin Show now actually present via a like Material Exchange platform.
Hello everyone, my name is Kelly Burton and I'm the Chief Sustainability Officer at Material Exchange, the revolutionary platform that works closely with brands, materials suppliers, manufacturers, and agents to digitize and streamline the apparel and footwear supply chains. I've been deep into sustainability in the apparel industry for over a decade, and when I'm not here at Material Exchange working on our sustainability strategies and how to make responsible sourcing easy, I'm teaching sustainable fashion at Harvard and social responsibility in the apparel industry at FIT in New York. I am thrilled to be here today. Let me just make sure my slides are working because I want to share with you how Material Exchange, through its digital capabilities, can fit into a sustainable strategy. We have harnessed the power of digitalization to make sourcing easier and more efficient while reducing cost, time, and risk. And with thousands of materials already on the platform, you can send, share digital samples, make and receive digital materials all through the marketplace. And I just popped on this slide because as transformative as digital tools have been in our daily lives, especially during COVID, they have been very slow to transform this segment of the supply chain. And to this point, we conducted a digital sourcing survey in the spring, and we're not surprised to find that the majority of buyers and sellers think that it's time for a digital transformation. And when it comes to who's more ready, almost 50% of the designers and product developers we surveyed are already using 3D design software. So it was fun to listen to the previous presentation. And interestingly enough, clothes seems to be leading, but there's a lot of diversity in choice and preference. And so the data that's interesting to us and that I mentioned in the last moment is on the right-hand side. You can see 21% of the designers and product developers who are using 3D software are using Clo, but they're also using a whole host of others. And yet when it came to the suppliers, less than 15% were providing digital services. We were surprised, but we were not deterred. Material Exchange is ready to support mills, tanneries, and suppliers of all sizes with the tools for digitalization. Last year, with our partners like VF, we co-wrote the language for digitizing materials with GS1, the creators of UPC and barcodes. And we've established scanning hubs in India and China with plans to expand into Europe and North America next. So we can help the supply side meet the design side when it comes to digital design. And it all makes sense. With the right tools, digital sourcing can not only save time, help navigate disruptions to travel and live trade shows, but also save money for both sides of the equation. But it's also about the power of digitalization to reduce waste and impact. With high quality digital twins, designers and product developers are able to create and prototype. This reduces the need for so many swatch books, so many samples. Plus, if there are disruptions in the supply chain, as we've seen for the last 18 months, brands can use digital prototypes for marketing and catalog collateral, or even launch directly to e-commerce platforms. And due to our relationships and partnerships with both the FDRA and the US FIA, we know how important individual material characteristics are for certain materials in both footwear and the apparel industry. So in addition to 2D and 3D scanning, we also offer the service of video and manual manipulation that can be found as part of the supplier assets. Material Exchange has finally evolved digitalization to its fullest potential. A convenient 24/7 marketplace to search, find, download, and order tens of thousands of materials from your select suppliers, from new suppliers, from anywhere around the world. And the Material Exchange has secured VC funding, industry endorsements, and leagues of users on our waiting list from the 3D potential alone. But that's not our only mission. We realized early on that the power of the digital platform also lies in streamlining sourcing for sustainability, and that we could really have a significant impact when it comes to helping brands and sourcing teams source better. For example, we know, depending on who is measuring, that the fashion industry contributes to between 6 and 10% of all global greenhouse gas emissions. And now we're learning that this particular segment, tier 2, is responsible for 52% of that. So that means that the majority of the impact that supplier and brands can have on the climate crisis lies in sourcing. And so to that end, we've developed a sustainability source tool that helps filter suppliers that are involved in, for example, in this context, energy reduction programs. These are programs that are either globally known, local initiatives, small little things that suppliers are taking part of. And that when a user comes to the platform and they choose denim, they choose from Vietnam, and then they put on this filter, this sustainability search tool of environmental stewardship, then all of a sudden they'll be shown facilities that have LEED certification or facilities that are involved in a small WWF program in a specific country. And the same goes for chemical use and water stewardship. Adding a filter of water stewardship will return suppliers that are on the ZDHC gateway, using Blue Sign, using the green screen for safer chemicals, etc. And so it goes. And we have the sustainable expert built in. This tool pulls from current certification programs, verified programs, or branded fibers. And then as new programs and initiatives and efforts are created, we will update the tools. And also, as the industry creates more sustainable or preferred materials, we'll adapt. Currently, we're offering a search for environmental and water stewardship, social compliance, recycled content, sustainable cotton, forest stewardship, biomaterials, carbon and circular solutions, regenerative, as well as dead stock and nearshoring. And then back to the digital sourcing report we released earlier this spring. 3 out of 4 buyers are seeking sustainable materials. We, of course, expect that to grow. And based on supplier feedback, we know that in almost 100% of the cases, our suppliers were able to furnish the request. So the sustainability search tool will point buyers to the materials they need, and the platform will make the choice. Detailed supplier profiles include backstories, pictures of rain-fed facilities or solar panel roofs, which helps buyers see some of the deeper initiatives beyond certifications. But we know that legal and compliance and now active NGOs want more. They want substantiation. And so for that, we have all the documentation, scope certificates, testing certificates, any other credentials needed to make hang tags claims to avoid risk. And then next year will be our year of validation. Right now, Material Exchange offers all the strength of digitalization, the reduced waste, the ease from digital samples, and the strength of our sustainability tool, the transparency and ease of all the documentation in one place. And as we roll out our API, then we'll also be able to offer the security of verification and validation for those documents. And that's the Material Exchange. We can't wait for you to join us and be part of this sustainable sourcing solution. Here's my credentials. I'm happy to answer questions at any time.
Thank you so much. If you'd mind turning on your camera, that'd be awesome. Your presentation was so amazing, and it's so amazing to also see that you're one of the first people we've ever had on our Transformers Eds where you've got like a dictation going on at the same time. How amazing is that? So thank you so much, especially for our students in Pakistan. That's pretty cool. Obviously, I've got questions as well, but we'll definitely have to ask some questions that are coming through. Obviously, for a fashion student, can they log onto like Material Exchange and have access to some of these fabrics just to see how they are, or how does it work?
Not yet. Not yet. And as a teacher, you know that I know that access to digital samples are really important for the student process. But right now, we're just trying to make this match. It's like a dating site, right? When you're putting together a marketplace, so we need to have the right suppliers and the right buyers, and we need them to know that the platform is working. to their needs before we can let students on. But we know that that's a request, and we know that that's a desire. So we're trying to find a way to add a channel for students to get access.
Yeah, I know there's stuff that some mills and companies are very particular about who sees what fabrics are on your platform. They don't want other suppliers seeing it. So it's very strict access to what you can see, what you can't see.
So we have all of that built in as well. So we have private and public collections. So it's really possible for the supplier. So all of that thing that happens in real trade shows. And we learned a lot, because I think you mentioned earlier that we hosted or helped co-host Kingpins, and we have Kingpins Exchange. And so they've just taught us a lot about that accessibility. So we have public collections, we have private collections, we have request collections. So we're trying to kind of replicate that. And we will definitely recognize that the students today are the designers and the product developers of tomorrow. So we want them to be on the site. We love them. We're just not ready to accommodate them quite yet.
Sure. Okay. So future proofing what you're doing. Is it for the future? Maybe you're already doing this or looking into this, but for core fabrics from certain mills, are they going to be like digital files available so you can put it into a Clo or a Maya system and start using that straight away? Is that existing?
Yeah. So I'm working on and starting a pilot with a fashion college in the US in January, and so the students will be able to take, because even with the branded fiber companies, the Tencells or the Seranas, or that they're interested in having students have that experience. So yes, we will definitely be rolling that out, but probably not until mid 2022. So hold tight, everybody.
It's still early days. Everyone's still learning learning all the 3D software. Obviously, then my question was, you're one of the leading platforms for fabrics and all the materials on online space. So of course, naturally there would be a marriage. So I was like thinking, talking ahead. Let's just see if there's any questions at all from our students. Now's the time to ask. So can't see any questions yet. How do suppliers okay, how do you expect after materials and certifications suppliers will earn profits? I think I think of it as another opportunity. Obviously COVID's definitely helped your company for sure, because everyone's online, but but this sort of way of working is not going to change. We're going to still put everything online, right? It's not going to we're not going to go back to lots of physical long trade shows again. It'll be both at the same time, right?
Well, and that's what we've heard. We've heard that when buyers go to physical trade shows, they take the swatches back to their hotel rooms and they scan them and take photos and send them back to their team. So if the suppliers have a digital presence with QR codes, the buyers and the product developers can just go to the booth in the physical trade show, scan the QR code, get the digital twin, and then send that back to the team, so the team can already start mood boards or doing whatever they need to do. So we don't see that live trade shows are ever going to go away, but we definitely see that digitalization, especially for getting profiles for suppliers and helping them get their materials, especially their key materials, online with good digital twins, is key to the future.
No, I found that as well. I remember going onto a show and they were scanning and all the fabrics I had, and they gave me a link to a sort of material exchange. So everything that I'd selected was already on there, which was quite awesome.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so there is a question from Zaki Salimi. Hi, Kelly. Do you have suppliers from Pakistan on your platform? If so, please tell us. I'm not sure if you can tell us, but are there Pakistani companies using material exchange?
Yes, of course, especially through Kingpins, right? So Kingpins has a long relationship with Pakistani mills. And so by benefit of their introduction, we have some Pakistani mills. And I just got off the phone with another NGO that's working on a program for water stewardship in Pakistan. And so hopefully with their relationship, we will be inviting other mills, because I don't know if this is true, but I think that a lot of the localized programs feel like if they don't have expensive credentials to their name, that they're not really marketable in the West. And I'm trying to break that down, and I'm trying to work with smaller programs, localized programs. I recognize that a lot of countries have programs in place. I know that Pakistan is really concerned about water stewardship, so that we can acknowledge that not everybody has to be, I don't want to name a credential to make it sound, but not everybody has to pay a lot of money for a credential. That if you're involved in a program that with with a well-known NGO like WWF. And even though it's not a certified certificate program, that we need to show that to the buying world. So yes, a few Pakistani suppliers and more to come, I hope.
Amazing. And a final question here. What are the requirements for mills to register with Material Exchange? So obviously we talked about students, but what mills now? What are the
free.
What are the requirements? It's free? Okay.
It's free. Yep, it's free. So you can just go on to materialexchange.com, hit join. There's a little green button in the top right-hand corner, and then start to set up your profile. And then you can, I think there's a package where you can get a few scans for free. And so start that, because if you don't have any digital representation of your materials, then yes, get that started. And then really take some time to fill out your profile, because your profile is almost like your, I hate to say this, but Facebook page or LinkedIn page, or it's like your social media introduction.
It can't be blank.
Yeah. So, and there's room for video. So if you're really proud of the garden in your facility, you can upload the video. Like, this is a chance to kind of do that storytelling for what it is that you're trying to express about your facility.
Thank you so much. It's awesome. I'm sorry about earlier, but we managed to power through it. I'll make sure that this recording is edited so it's super clean. And all the recordings, we've had a couple of questions from students as well going, how do I get copies of these recordings? Everything's going to be online on the Transformers Foundation website and YouTube early next week, and they'll be all edited as well, and all nicely bookended with nice slides at the beginning.
Lovely.
Kelly, you've been awesome. Thank you so much for your time, and see you again soon.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you so much.